Trekking through the bush in Tanzania, led by Maasai warriors, 10 pupils with behavioural problems selected from 200 special schools in England and Wales are embarking on a life-changing expedition. Their journey will cover more than 100 gruelling miles and take them through remote areas where they'll meet local children.
Just really big impact, you know, never thought it'd be like this. Seen little kids sucking on plastic bags as their dummies.
They'll be joined later on by celebrity chef Anthony Worrell-Thompson.
I've had problems myself and I can understand where they're coming from.
But are they up to the challenge of the hottest classroom on Earth? An expedition to the Brecon Beacons in Wales, with temperatures hovering around zero and thousands of miles away from the hottest classroom on Earth. But it's the start of the journey.
Welcome to the Brecon Beacons. Hello, sir. Welcome, you okay?
Fine, thank you.
All looking good?
200 special schools have put forward their choice of pupils and mentors who they believe are up for the challenge. Many of the students have been diagnosed with conditions like autism and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Now this is the first step towards the hottest classroom. I know it feels a little bit strange up in the Brecon Beacons where it's just above, you know, freezing point at the moment, but this is all about us getting to know each other.
Reservoir. Right,
and that's
the sort of rendezvous point. That's where we leave the van.
Callum.
Yep.
Kyle. Yep. Kieran.
30 shortlisted candidates are here. Now there's a physically demanding weekend ahead as they're put to the test.
In Tanzania, they're going to be walking 11 miles every day. But today, this weekend, it's all about challenge. And we're starting to see elements of teams, you know, coming together, which is great. They're keen, they're enthusiastic, and they're fighting for those places to go on the plane to Tanzania in June. And then you came across this one here, did you?
We went down and walked across and around here.
Fantastic, goodness me. That is absolutely tremendous. Hey, how you doing, guys? You're okay? How are you? You're okay. Fantastic. Good.
The group have been joined by business and sports mentors.
Everybody's made it. We did 2 different routes. We crossed on the way. We met other little groups and everything. And they should be very proud because at the top we had really gusting winds. It must have been down to about -5 and we're in quite deep snow.
Well, it's been very difficult and a struggle, very hard, but it's been great and fantastic experience. Just making it this far is good enough for me, but to go to Tanzania is a bonus anyway.
Well, it's been very challenging, like to actually cope with the weather and like to meet new people and all that I've never met before. So it's actually been quite challenging for me.
The biggest headache today is actually who's going to make it to Tanzania. We've got 4 days to organise that. I know there'll be quite a few conversations going ahead. Personally, if we had enough space on that plane, we would be taking the 30 young people that have come here today.
But we're sorry to go though. Beautiful. Look at that, beautiful. I know. That's what you want.
Nice. We went up there.
I can't believe we got up there.
6 months of training, 6 months of preparation. Weight will be shed. Africa, here we come.
We need to think of a way to improve upon what we did last time, of how we're going to get to the top of that hill as quickly as possible with these tyres.
But before they get to Africa, there's some rigorous training ahead for the 10 lucky pupils and their mentors who've been selected to go to the hottest classroom on Earth.
I'd start off slowly as well. I wouldn't run it so I'd save energy.
The inspiration for the expedition comes from the principal of Springfield's Academy, Tristan Williams. After taking 4 pupils with behavioural problems from his own school to the Arctic and the coldest classroom on Earth, he believes that only by challenging students will they exceed expectations. And the Extreme Classrooms concept is one that works.
It's 9 o'clock at the moment. We'll get all the sledges packed up, get back into the tents, keep warm, and we leave here at 10. The coldest classroom on Earth. One great memory was seeing one of our pupils reach the top of that glacier. And he said to me, "Sir, I've now learned that with hard work I can achieve anything, I can be something special." And if you give that element of self-belief to a child, they've got the resilience, they've got that self-belief that yes, I can and I'm going to conquer because actually I've got that self-belief.
Who's responsible for denting my flask?
One of those going from one extreme to another will be 15-year-old pupil Callum Carter.
Since the coldest classroom on earth, doing very well in my rugby. I play for Dorset and Wiltshire, which is county. I now have had trials for the Bath Academy, Elite Player Development Squad. I've got problems, I've got dyslexia, I've had learning problems which didn't help with my anger issues. But I'm overcoming that, and I think the hottest classroom on earth will be a great help.
He'll be joined in the hottest classroom by 13-year-old Ethan Moore.
I got diagnosed with ADHD in 2007, and also I just went downhill a lot.
Ethan hopes going to Tanzania will be a life-changing experience.
I've never been abroad, you know, I just hope it would calm me out and be able to focus me a bit more.
Also selected is 15-year-old Callum Marshall. He has concerns about how he's going to cope with the challenge.
Mainly mental and some of it fitness. I mean, my mental, my brain, I wouldn't be able to cope with some things, and especially uphill, really steep uphill stuff, like today's challenge. I sometimes would break down and maybe have a meltdown, and so yeah, I have to overcome that. If I do complete a challenge, that will probably change my view of things.
This is what my goal is, to show other head teachers, to show the nation that against all odds, the most vulnerable child in today's society can truly succeed against all odds.
Keep it going, just keep it going, let's go.
And here we are, we're within 5 weeks of taking 10 very excited, challenging children to live with the Maasai warriors and hopefully make it to the equator this year.
Day one in Africa of the hottest classroom on earth. For the lucky 10 pupils who made it here to Tanzania, the adventure begins. What lies ahead as they arrive in this unknown territory? It's going to be a journey of discovery.
I'm William. Welcome.
First, there's a warm greeting from the Maasai.
Okay, there's one large bottle of water each to go in your day pack.
The challenge, a 9-day trek across the floor of the Great Rift Valley in northern Tanzania, starting from Mount Longido and finishing at the Crater Highlands location of the world-famous Ngorongoro crater.
There we are.
Yeah, ready to go. First bit of the journey.
Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want my lunch, that's what I want. Better work hard then, better I. Otherwise I ain't having it.
Now the long trek, led by Maasai warriors, to their first camp in the bush.
It's a special moment not just for me, but for all the adults and hopefully you as young people. Who would have thought, Alan, 12, 14 months ago, as we were trekking in the Arctic, that we'd grow from a group of about 10 of us up to 32 of us here in Tanzania today. A lot of hard work has gone in. You've all achieved something just to make it here. But the journey over the next 8 or 9 days is going to be something quite special. So this is a journey not just for us here today, but we're representing almost 200 special schools from the Engage network. It's a special moment. So from myself, officially, welcome to the hottest classroom on earth.
Please. Cooks to the place.
Time for the team to relax and get to know their guides.
What do you think of your coordination? Good?
Coordination?
accommodation?
Yeah, it's good.
Well,
it's quite spaced out.
As long as I can get some sleep, I really don't care.
It is possibly the hottest tent on earth at the moment. The big concern, if I open this up too much, it'd be full of mosquitoes. So I'd rather suffer the heat.
Morning!
Morning.
There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose.
The next morning sees the start of the first big challenge for the team, to climb not one but 2 mountains over the next 2 days, Mount Longido and then Mount Kitambani.
Some of the pupils are really feeling it this morning. You know, the sun's quite intense and we've had to give a lot of encouragement this morning, but the challenge is on and we're starting to see some of the characters now coming through.
Working as a team, they've made it. Time now to reflect on what they've achieved.
The view is just miles and miles and miles, you can see. Really incredible. Really proud that we've all made it up here. Really good. And even the injured have made it. You know, we've had people with bad ankles and knees and stuff, and they've all managed it up. So it's a brilliant accomplishment.
Yeah, I'm very tired.
Being able to carry on, you know, that's how people achieve great things, isn't it?
It wasn't easy, it was always going to be tough, but we had a couple that were struggling, but they made it up here. They didn't give up, and I just think at the moment the sort of there's a lot of positivity around.
I'll take us back to the start.
Callum Marshall has found it particularly difficult and decides he's going back to camp. But there's one thing he wants to do before he goes.
Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part.
Back at camp, and the group find out more about Maasai traditions.
Oh, he's having a bad time.
Day 4, and the trail takes the group across high Maasai lands to a remote village located on the side of Mount Kitambani, and it proves to be an emotional experience.
The village, they've got sort of the house, and then about 10 metres away they've got their cow next door where they're eating it. I went away quite sad, but you've got to think that to them that's all they need is their family, and they're quite happy. Therefore, from where we are, over back in England, we think they've got nothing, but to them they have. Quite an eye-opener actually to see.
He's screaming.
Good, come on. Cool. Yeah, and again, big one. Oh, yes!
Completely different, you know, different culture, understanding a lot more than what I did. Just really big impact. You know, never thought it'd be like this. Seen little kids sucking on plastic bags as their dummies, flies in little, like, 10-month-year-old little kids' eyes, coming up with an idea of putting some money away so they can have, like, 3 kilo bag of seeds and stuff like that, you know, to be able to feed them for a while.
Do you think they find us interesting, like we find them interesting?
Yeah, I suppose they do.
Well done, very good.
Their journey then takes them to a local school to see how children are taught there, and it's very different to what they're used to back home.
Just been looking at the kids learning and seeing what they've got really, which is nothing, and they're just learning their basic English.
Yes, good. Sauti.
My name is Floralyn.
Yeah, it's quite emotional actually, just to see what they're so happy with so little.
A trek west across more untamed bushland takes them to Gelai village. It's time for school children from two very different cultures to come together with one goal: to test each other in football. It's a very competitive game, but in the end, the hottest classroom team wins by 2-1. 13-year-old Ethan Moore scores the winner. The journey continues with a trek to the sunken crater and lava plains.
It's a real nice feeling to get to see this brilliant view, you know, all the mountains at the end of a hard day's work. It's always rewarding to get these views. So yeah, it's brilliant.
As the days have went on, it's got harder, and I normally have quite a lot of energy as it is. But on today, like the last day, I was my legs were beginning to ache a bit, and I was glad to know we can finally start relaxing now.
The last 6 days for me have been very hard. It's been fun, emotional, and a very big physical and mental challenge.
Back in England, we don't really. Well, we take everything we have for granted, but then there's people out here that don't have anything. They do so much with such little stuff.
I've seen how these people live, and I think that must be really uncomfortable with flies buzzing around your face, with everything happening around them, and I've got it so easy.
The rented best part, it's all been good. The flying, being here, the walking, and the challenges I've had from the staff.
It's been a challenge, physically especially. Found gradually, obviously you'd expect it to get harder and harder, which has done. And today was a good feeling when we finished walking, to be honest. Really, really nice, everyone shaking hands, everyone.
All too soon, it's the final day of the expedition, and back at camp there's a surprise in store as celebrity chef Anthony Worrell-Thompson has arrived to cook everyone their last meal of the trip.
It's fishy soup.
This is a fishy soup.
Fishy minestrone, yeah, you could call it a fishy minestrone, that's okay. So you cut
Anthony relishes the prospects of working with Tanzanian chefs.
Take the pips out later, yeah?
Okay.
And then at the end, just squeeze all the juice, yeah? Hi,
this is Ethan, the first student he's met.
How you doing? All right.
I'm alright. Having a good time? Good day today, yeah?
Yeah.
Hi, Callum. Come meet Anthony, yeah?
Hi, Callum.
My name's Callum. Nice to meet you.
I've heard.
This evening, we've got one of these original celebrity chefs joining us. Made an effort to come all the way from rainy England. Can you please put your hands together? It's Anthony Worrell-Thompson.
What's it like being one of the high-class chefs of the world?
I had a very tough upbringing. I was sent to boarding school age 3. I was sexually abused 3 or 4 times. I was beaten regularly at school when beatings were allowed. And overall that drove me to having a real fight about me. I determined to be a chef. I don't know why. Nobody in my family could cook. My mother could burn a boiled egg. My grandmother couldn't even put the boiled egg in the pan. You can do it. And that's what I've always believed in. How are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm really good. We're having a great time here.
I'll see now we are busy here.
My trusty assistants.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
I'm just basically helping find ingredients really, and just getting ready to be chopped up and put in the pans really.
For Anthony, it's been a difficult year after he was caught shoplifting small value items from a supermarket.
I can't beat myself up over my life. I've got to carry on and make my life as successful as I can. You know, I see my life as a series of mountains, and I've been up the mountains, down the mountains, up the mountains, down the mountains. And the moment I'm down the mountain, I've got to get up the next mountain. And that's one of the challenges that faces me. They too have got their own mountains. You know, and there's so many similarities. It's quite extraordinary, really. And when I came out, I never realised that was how it would be, but it's actually, it's worked well. It's worked well for both of us, all of us.
He has a mission in coming to Tanzania to help the youngsters in the hottest classroom and show that you can achieve success against all odds.
You know, for them, some of them haven't flown before, they've been removed from the safety of their family. They've come outside their comfort zone, really, and that's a big challenge to anybody. And for me, I think I admire them a lot for that, because I used to do the same thing, and in them I see a lot of me. You take that one. Can you take two? I just take two, because it's quite hot.
Yeah.
I've met the rest of you, and you've been fantastic, and you've all made me feel really welcome, which is brilliant. And I think what you've achieved this week, from what I've heard, is quite extraordinary. So, well done to all of you. I've enjoyed myself. Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed your evening with me, and I've certainly enjoyed my evening with yours.
Right, who needs food? I'm quite happy to eat it if no one...
He's gave it a nice little bit of spice and it adds to the flavour. Yeah, it's really good.
Let's face it, the goat's tender, it's... Well, I've never had a curry like it, especially goat.
Anthony Worrell Thompson, a 10 out of 10 tonight for this effort. Well done. All the Maasai that have helped us all week, sharing our thanks with them for keeping everybody happy. It's a beautiful morning, and it's a lovely way to finish the week.
It's the last morning in Tanzania, and time to say goodbye.
We certainly made this a very, special few days for us out here in Tanzania. So on behalf of myself, I'm sharing the emotion, I think here, Sam, your emotion with everybody, but it's been special to us, and I know it's been extremely special. So these memories will live with us. It's a very precious moment.
2 weeks later, and it's prize-giving day at the end of the school year at Springfields Academy in Wiltshire. 3 of the pupils who went to Tanzania and the hottest classroom on earth are getting special awards. So what lessons have been learnt from the hottest classroom on earth?
Educating young people outside of a classroom is certainly the way forward for the next generation of learners, and giving them the extreme challenges of developing self-esteem and resilience. And if we can do that, then they'll be ready for the challenges of life in the 21st century.
It kind of changed me on how I do my lessons. Before I used to not really bother and not really care, but now it's like I do sort of care. I mean, I've got a better classroom than some of the kids in that country, especially after seeing that school. So I do appreciate what I've got here. But now, seeing the respect in the Maasai cult, it does change my view about how I should respect people. I mean, these people are only trying to help you, get me some qualifications, and I should respect them.
People like me, it just goes to prove that if you're ADHD, if you're dyslexic, if you're dyspraxic, if you've got any of these labels, it shouldn't ever hold you back, and it certainly hasn't held me back on this trip, and I won't let it hold me back in life.
I was expelled from 2 primary schools. I came here in year 6.
At that stage I was so nervous I couldn't be in a class bigger than about 8 pupils. So I had massive anxiety, I had confidence issues, I couldn't do anything. So now I'm head pupil at Springfields. It's just changed me so much. I've overcome so many issues. Now I've overcome Tanzania, I think I can overcome anything if I put my mind to it.
And Ethan Moore's football skills have been recognised. After his winning goal in Tanzania, he's been given a training place at Swindon Town Football Club's academy.
We've gone from the coldest classroom on earth to the hottest classroom on earth. The next challenge is Mount Everest, it's base camp, it's 18,500 feet. It's going to be the highest classroom on earth. The story is evolving.